Alright. A history of the priests and Levites. Nehemiah chapter 12, out of the New Living Translation. Here is a list of the priests and Levites who returned to Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the high priests. Seraiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Malush, Hattush, Shechaniah, Harim, Meremoth, Iddo, Ginenoth, Abijah, Miniamin, Moadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Joiarib, Jedaiah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, and Jedaiah. These were the leaders of the priests and their associates in the days of Jeshua. The Levites who returned with them were Jeshua, Binui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, and Mattaniah, who were his associates, was in charge of the songs of thanksgiving. Their associates, Bakbukiah and Ummi, stood opposite them during the service. Jeshua the high priest was the father of Joiakim. Joiakim was the father of Eliashib. Eliashib was the father of Joiada. Joiada was the father of Johanan. Johanan was the father of Jaddua. Now, when Joiakim was high priest, the family leaders of the priests were as follows. Meraiah was the leader of the family of Seraiah. Menaniah was the leader of the family of Jeremiah. Meshullam was the leader of the family of Ezra. Jehohanan was the leader of the family of Amariah. Jonathan was the family of Malush. Joseph was the family of Shechaniah. Adnah was the leader of the family of Harim. Elkai was the leader of the family of Meremoth. Zechariah was the leader of the family of Iddo. Meshullam was the leader of the family of Ginnethon. Zikri was leader of the family of Abijah. There was also a leader of the family of Miniamin. Piltai was the leader of the family of Moadiah. Shammua was the leader of the family of Bilgah. Jehonathan was the leader of the family of Shemaiah. Mattaniah was the leader of the family of Joiarib. Uzi was the leader of the family of Jedaiah. Kelai was the leader of the family of Salu. Eber was the leader of the family of Amok. Ashabiah was the leader of the family of Hilkiah. Nathaniel was leader of the family of Jedaiah. A record of the Levite families was kept during the years when Eliashib, Joiada, Jonathan, and Jaddua served as high priest. Another record of the priest was kept during the reign of Darius the Persian. A record of the heads of the Levite family was kept in the book of the history down to the days of Johanan, the grandson of Eliashib. These were the family leaders of the Levites: Hashabiah, Sherebiah, Jeshua, Binui, Kadmiel, and other associates who stood opposite them during the ceremonies of praise and thanksgiving. One section responding to the other as commanded by David, the man of God. This included Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, and Obadiah. Meshullam, Timon, and Akub were the gatekeepers in charge of those storerooms at the gates. These all served in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Jeshua, son of Jehozadak, and in the days of Nehemiah the governor, and of Ezra the priest and scribe. Dedication of Jerusalem's wall. For the dedication of the new wall of Jerusalem, the Levites throughout the land were asked to come to Jerusalem to assist in the ceremonies. They were to take part in the joyous occasion of their songs of thanksgiving and with the music of cymbals, harps, and lyres. The singers were taught were brought together from the region around Jerusalem and from the villages of the Netophonites. They also came from Beth Gilgal and from rural areas near Geba and Asmaveth, for the singers had built their own settlements around Jerusalem. The priests and Levites first purified themselves, then they purified the people, the gates, and the wall. I led the leaders of Judah to the top of the wall and organized 2 large choirs to give thanks. One of the choirs proceeded southward. Along the top of the wall was the dung gate. Hoshea and half the leaders of Judah followed them, along with Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, and Jeremiah. Then came some priests who played trumpets, including Zechariah son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zakur, a descendant of Asaph. And Zechariah's colleagues were Shemaiah, Azriel, Malalai, Gilalai, Mal, Nathaniel, Judah, and Hanani. They used the musical instruments prescribed by David, the man of God. Ezra, the scribe, led this procession. At the fountain gate they went straight up to the steps on the ascent of the city wall towards the city of David. They passed the house of David and then proceeded to the water gate on the east. The second choir, giving thanks, went westward around the other way to meet them. I followed them together with the other half of the people along the top of the wall, past the tower of the ovens to the broad wall, and then past the Ephraim gate to the old city, past the fish gate and the tower of Hananel, and on the tower of the 100, where we continued on the sheep gate and stopped at the guard gate. The 2 choirs that were given thanks then proceeded to the temple of God, where they took their places. So did I, together with that group of leaders who were with me. We went together with the trumpet-playing priests Eliakim, Maaseiah, Miniamin, Micaiah, Elioenai, Zechariah, and Hananiah, and the singers Maaseiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzziah, Johanan, Malchijah, Elam, and Ezer. They played and sang loudly under the direction of Jezariah, the choir director. Many sacrifices were offered on that joyous day, for God had given the people cause for great joy. The women and children also participated in the celebration, and the joy of the people of Jerusalem could be heard far away. Provisions for temple worship. Verse 44. On that day were appointed to be charge of the storerooms for the offerings. For the first part of the harvest and the tithes, they were responsible to collect from the fields outside the towers the portions required by the law for the priests and Levites. For all the people of Judah took joy in the priests and Levites and their work. They performed the service of their God and the service of purification as commanded by David and the son Solomon. And so did the singers and the gatekeepers. The custom of having choir directors to lead the choir in hymns and praise and thanksgiving to God began long ago in the days of David and Asaph. So now, in the days of Zerubbabel and Nehemiah, all Israel brought a daily supply of food for the singers, the gatekeepers, and the Levites. The Levites in turn gave a portion of what they received to the priests, the descendants of Aaron. Wow.